Thank you guys for joining us with the I'm Just Saying podcast or IJS podcast. I am Tanya, and today, y'all, this is different than I've ever done before. I am sitting across from someone who is not only a person that I admire, but someone that I love. I grew up with her. She was the first person to show me a different way in life. So this conversation, I don't know where this conversation gonna go, y'all. We're gonna keep it real. I respect her. This is Dr. Kanika. Let me say that again. Dr. Kanika Tomalin. Kanika was deputy mayor over in St. Pete, and she has just done so many things that I've admired. A lot of times when I'm doing things in life, I'll think about Kanika. I will actually go back to some of her interviews. She don't even know this. I will go back to some of her interviews to listen at how polished she was, how she was talking, because I didn't have that. So I got to talk to her today. So if I shed a few tears, y'all, it is because of the love that I have for this woman. And so I'm going to start out by saying a moment that changed my life, a moment that I had with Kanika. I was crazy. I was in the streets. I was probably just lost. And I remember having an altercation, a physical altercation with someone, a fight. And it was someone that I was with. And I remember calling Kanika. And I remember Kanika and Terry, her husband passed away, and they came over. And when they came over, what I remember was the food. I remember Terry brought some meat, and I was like, this meat got a little pink in it. I don't eat pink meat yet. I do now. Things change. But one of the biggest things that I remember in that moment was there was no judging. There was no judging. And I remember Kanika looking at me and just, oh my God. And it was bad. I haven't always been who I am today. And so having someone to see me, and you held me and you told me how smart I was and who I was, and that I didn't need to be going through this, and how I needed to be the smart person that I was. I did pretty good in school, and just having you remind me of that.
Yeah.
And that's why we need our sisters. We need people to see us, even when we're in those vulnerable moments, because I wasn't proud of that. And you told me to think about my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other person looked a lot worse than I did, but at the same time, I just remember feeling like I let you down. But having your husband hold me, and both of y'all just had this. It was a defining moment in my life, and I said, I'm never gonna be in this type of situation again, and I will lean toward the smart Tanya, not the other person that is catering to this foolishness. So I thank you so much. And I remember that conversation, and I thank you because that was a change in my life. It was a moment where I changed how I'm not going to have this kind of relationship again. I'm never going to be in some abusive relationship. And because of you, that just changed and thank you. I never said it. I've always felt it, but I thank you so much. I think at the time, guys, I was about 20. Oh, I'll be 53. So I had to be about 24 or 25. So thank you, Kanika.
Well, thank you, Tanya. It's my honor. It's my privilege. The great person you are today, I always saw in you from the moment that we met. So it's just a privilege to walk in sisterhood and friendship and be there for one another and love each other.
Yes. And you can love your friends from afar because we get busy with our lives.
Absolutely.
We have our babies, and I'm just looking. You don't even understand. When you were running for mayor, they got tired of me on social media. People were so mad at me. They were like, you don't even live in St. Pete anymore. I was like, Deputy, because I was so proud for you, somebody that looks like me,
yes,
to walk in this space. And I always wanted to ask you, how was that? Because it's hard, and I'm going to say this. I would see people that look like me going against you. And I would have some arguments in the comments. Like, hold up. I don't play about are.
And, you know, when you're in that public arena, that's going to happen. People have opinions. They're rooted in all sorts of things. I just had to stay grounded in the purpose and the calling that I was answering. And it was an opportunity to give back to a community that's given so much to me. And, you know, I'm not necessarily looking for consensus on every point, just looking for collaboration and a chance to make a difference. And so people who are about that, they can have their opinion. Just
Did
come
it
with
bother
me on the
you?
progress.
Were you shocked by the people that were having the opinions?
Sometimes,
Because I was.
but you know,
Yeah.
you grow up in the community and everybody can't celebrate the journey, but it's okay. It doesn't distract from the journey. And it's all in joy and it's all to the good. And a long time ago, I learned to not take anything personally.
Oh, wow.
Because that's not about me. When people are offering things that are so derisive or divisive or hurtful, deriding a person's character or integrity without a basis for that, that's a reflection of the healing they have to do on the inside. That's not about me. So I bless them in that journey and stay on mine.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? This was my Oprah. This is the voice. I was ready to get a bath. She was always, Tanya, no, put it down. And I love that spirit of you that no matter what happens, you always stay in the light. And that was, even back then, you always stood in your light. So for other girls that are out there, that are brown girls that are out there that have friends that picking up bats or doing this, how do you stay in that light?
Well, don't you think, I think there's a tribe of light bearers and light keepers who are magnetically called to one another. You know, we were friends of friends, Tanya.
Yes.
But among this group of friends in this web, we are called to one another because we share that light.
Ooh.
And I think you have to find your tribe. You find the people who share a zeal for life and understand purpose or trying to seek it and just pour into one another. I think that's it. It'll emerge. It makes itself apparent. And I think we just have to honor the divinity that we each have in each other. And when we see a special person, a special moment, whatever we can do, I try to pour into everybody that I can, that you recognize that spark. I've been blessed that a lot of people saw greatness for me before I saw it for myself, and things that I would have never even imagined. And that when people believe in you before you can even believe in yourself, it teaches us how to believe in the impossible. It teaches us how to blaze trails. So that's what we owe to others, to find that light in other people and shine it. You are such a bright light. You always have been. You always have been.
It'd be flickering sometimes.
In a like, just amidst chaos, a beautiful light shines from within you. And anybody who sees it, anybody in the presence will see it and will feel it. Your brilliance is undeniable. Now, what they choose to do with that, how they choose to acknowledge and honor that, is about what they're ready to do.
Thank you.
But your light cannot be dimmed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Oh, it's so hard sometimes for me to find that light because I was always in so much darkness.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the more darkness that we're in, the light gets dampened, and you don't see it. And then and you don't even know that it's light.
Absolutely.
Even sometimes with raising my kids, I'll sometimes go back to that dark side of remembering how my mom raised me by yelling and screaming. And then I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Right.
Because there's a different way. Even though I didn't grow up in that way, there's a different way. So thank you for reminding me, Kanika, that I think we all have that light, and we have to find it and pour into other people.
Yes.
Kanika was also, I remember this too, Kanika. You were working at the newspaper.
Yes.
And then I got a job at the newspaper. And that's what I wish I could say to folks that are out here, is that you see something in somebody, it's okay to follow that
model
person.
it.
Yes. I do. I watch.
We must. And then take it exponentially higher, right?
Yes.
Like, there's something that calls us that we should acknowledge, and then we figure out how to make it our own and find our purpose in it. So that's wonderful. I love when I am able to walk through a door that I've been able to open, and it's like, manage to leave it open until as many people who whoso will can come through,
We
right?
got to keep that door wide open.
Oh my gosh,
And
and
let 'em in.
bring people
Let 'em
with
in.
us.
Oh
And bring
my
people
gosh.
with us.
But you bring people sometimes you didn't even know you were bringing me through the door.
Well, that's the truth, you know. And
You were.
progress is measured not by being the first. I've been very blessed and fortunate in a lot of avenues to be the 1st person who looks and lives like me to do a thing. But progress is not measured in the first. It's how many people who look and live like you can now do it too.
Oh, I
That's,
love it.
That's where we see progress manifest.
I love
So
it.
I'm very touched by that. I was just glad to see you. I'm like, hey, Tanya.
And this is, and the truth is, you don't even know who you're inspiring. You don't even know that I've talked about you. My kids be like, we know you can ready to tell us about your friend that was thinking. Yes, because there was something about you. And I want to ask you, how did you know who you were so early? How? Because
Well,
you knew it.
I was so fortunate to have a wonderful family, just a whole village.
Oh my God, your mom, your dad.
Yes, that began with my parents. A wonderful mother, a wonderful father who saw their existential purpose as doing everything they can to fulfill the potential of the children that they brought into the world. So they poured the entirety of their being into my sister and I. And that just set us up to have the security to dare and to dream. You know, my mom used to tell me, if you've thought of it, it's done.
Oh.
Audacious things I would want to do. And she'd say, oh, baby, it's done.
Oh.
It's in your heart, it's done.
I love that.
So that just set me up to do it, to try, to know it's okay. There is no failure. It's only learning. There is no dead end. It's just a detour.
Oh.
And through all of it, even trials, even challenges, it gives us a resilience and it gives us a permission to keep trying.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Yeah, I think my parents,
Your parents taught you, and this is what I and teach my kids, that although you had that at home and I didn't, I was going through hell, you still came over here with me. And that is why I try to tell my kids, I don't care. My kids have friends that I look and go, ooh, but I was that kid. And your parents never did that to me. You never did that to me. You guys always made me feel there was something in you to see that, yeah, she has this issues at home, but there's something within her. And so I just really thank you. And I thank your mom and dad all the time.
And they love you. They love you.
I'm friends with your mama. So we like. But I thank you because so many times parents fail by saying, no, don't go over there and be her friend. Don't talk to her because she's different than you, or she's not doing this, or she's not doing that. They didn't know that I needed your friendship.
That's what we can do for one another, you know, and that is a great tradition that we have, I think, in our community. That goes back to the diaspora. It goes back to when you land here in America, you may not be with the children you bore through the entirety of their lives. You know, being of enslaved people were separated, families were separated. So where you found yourself, you had to make your village. You had to welcome in strangers. You had to treat every child as your own. You had to love every member of the village with understanding the possibility, not of this enslaved person you see in front of them, but the king or queen they may have been where they came from. And so that is a deep tradition within us to recognize and see family in everyone and to offer the grace that we all need to fulfill the fullness of our potentials. So that was deep in my household, and it has served us so well, this sense of servant leadership, that the best thing that I can do for anyone is treat them as I would want to be treated, and treat them as though they are the most esteemed person in my life, even as a stranger, because our journeys tell us that in many ways they might be. Who knows? Who knows where we're going to go?
And I thank you so much, because I look back and sometimes the only person that I could want to emulate was you. I would just see you in this light. And I was like, some people are like, what would Jesus do? I'm like, what would Kanika do? Because it was so, I know you. And so I know the spirit of you, and I know your heart, and I know how you, even back then, you would be helping people. So it's always been there. And I tell you that I mirror a lot of the way that I live my life and I do things because of you.
So, Tanya, you were one of the things that I teach my team is the importance of transformational relationships as opposed to transactional relationships, and really finding a way to transcend in reciprocity. So, if I was doing anything for you, you were doing so much for me. I was so sheltered, I was. And
you in the club, y'all. I had it up in the club.
And you expended so much personal equity for me. The level of leadership to which I aspired, the type of change that I wanted to make, I needed to not be separated from the people I care about. I needed to be able to be with anybody in any place at any time. And you taught me so much about that and how to just always be human and find the common ground regardless of the various paths that we walk. So if I gave anything to you, you gave twice as much to me.
Oh, thank
and
you
I'm so
for
grateful.
that. Well, I want to tell you what else you gave to me. One day, y'all, I was in the kitchen and I was eating something and it was bad. I forgot what it was. And then I'm looking on the TV. There's Kanika, and she's talking about the healthy initiative for St. Pete and how you want to be healthy and how you want to do this. Child, I had to put the Cheetos down. I was like, that's my friend. Let me listen to this. And so tell us about that, because you've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
And tell me, why is it so important to you? Why is it so important to you?
So I trained as a journalist and worked as a journalist for a long time. Then I went to the hospital and worked as a healthcare executive. But I always had the power of stories in my heart and my understanding of how change happens. And I saw that all of the stories of the people we were trying to touch really went back to these choices, not the health outcomes we were battling once they're at the hospital, but all the determinants of their lives that led up to that, even before they were born. Okay. We call that the social determinants of health. It's economic stability, social and community context, a neighborhood and built environment, access to quality health care, and access to quality education. Our health outcomes are only made up of 20% of our interaction with the healthcare environment. 80% is all the rest of that. And so I knew as a healthcare executive, if we're going to make a difference in people's lives, particularly the lives of the community from which I came in South St. Petersburg, we had to focus on that other part. And so much of that. So I was a healthcare executive. And then I was invited to be the deputy mayor and city administrator in St. Pete, the first Black woman to hold that role.
First Black woman to hold it.
And I was very excited about the history of that. My children are the 6th generation of my family to live in St. Pete.
Wow.
And we've seen it all, the entire arc, from poverty to making the policy that's going to battle poverty.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm going to take this opportunity, but I have to bring this healthcare passion with me. It was a condition of my acceptance with Mayor Kreisman. And he said, absolutely. So we created Healthy St. Pete.
I love it.
And the entire design of that was to make the healthy choice the easy choice. And so we focused on how to live, play, eat, and shop healthy in St. Pete. And we want that to be accessible in everything from the corner store and what SNAP benefits will cover, to what restaurants offer on their menus, to the availability of trails and exercise equipment. We did everything we could to transform our landscape to one of the healthiest communities in not only the state, but the United States.
And you have done an amazing job. Girl, I put the Cheetos down. And I saw every time I see you talking about it, I know that you're so passionate about it. You have done at the, what do they say, like at the grassroots level, you out there beating the pavement, and you have been, people, I remember talking to someone and they were like, you seen Kanika? So people are watching is my point. And I know that we are making some changes because of you. Wow. What has been the hardest part of the journey of trying to transform folks over to being more health conscious? What's been hard about that?
It's a constant challenge because when we think about it, it's systemic change that will create sustainable, self-perpetuating difference. And so much of the way it's framed is around personal choice. And personal choice and agency have a lot to do with it, but we also have to really address the systemic issues that have created the disparities and deficits that we see among certain populations. We cannot just boil it down to a person's apparent willingness. We have to also look at their ability, look at the reality of the choices around them, recognize when we say make the healthy choice, the easy choice, the complexity of what that means in a person's life, who's just trying to make it every day, who's choosing between feeding their children and keeping their lights on and getting to work. So it's, maybe somebody isn't serving fresh broccoli and grilled chicken because of the time it took them to get from the bus stop to home. The fact that if you're buying fresh food, you need to be able to cook it in a very specific time. If you're using ultra processed foods, that can sit on your shelf and last for months. Little choices, little things that are informed by much bigger, complex issues that we need to be compassionate about and enable people to do these things we're encouraging.
That is one of the reasons why I love what you're doing, because you're going back to the systemic part, which is what I don't think people understand.
Yeah.
It wasn't that my grandmother didn't want us to eat healthy.
That's right.
My grandma gave us what was available what was easy. She got off work. She was tired. It was easier for her to give us this option that wasn't the healthiest. I think had she known, of course she would have wanted us to be healthy. I'm so grateful. And that's why it's so important for people to sit in seats and sit at tables that understand the root cause.
Yes.
Not because so many people will say, well, they just keep eating bad food.
Right.
Because they don't understand.
Yes.
And they don't know. And I'll sit in rooms, I'll go out to eat a lot of times, and my friends be like, Tanya, if they say certain things, don't turn this into a whole conversation. Because I go off the rails, because I know that we never look at the root. We just look at these branches.
That's right.
And there's so much in the root, in the soil.
Absolutely. In the soil.
In the soil.
Right. And that's our responsibility. Those of us who are at tables of influence, those of us who do occupy seats where we can make a difference, is to tell the story that we know. That's the beauty and the blessing of walking in many worlds. I bring them all with me everywhere I go.
Oh, wow.
And share the truth of the people whose lives we are working to make a difference in.
And my kids will kill me if I don't bring this up. You went to an HBCU.
Absolutely.
We have to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about that HBCU. And I was, as a person that did not complete college, I knew that if I had gone to certain schools, I was like, I want to go to an HBCU. So when both my daughters were going, I was talking to Paige, and she decided not to go to an HBCU. And she was like, Mom, I've been in certain programs around certain people. So she felt that she would have been a little bit uncomfortable in those spaces.
Sure.
How was that for you?
It was a transformative experience, one of the best decisions of my life.
Oh.
So I was at Florida A&M, and it's like heights.
In
the glory days.
I was there on the weekend.
Listen, it was wonderful. And we had a fantastic president, Dr. Fred Humphreys, who at the time, he recruited more National Merit Scholars to Florida A&M than any other school in the nation. For the longest time, that was automatically Harvard University.
Wow.
And he eclipsed that. And he did it he would travel around Florida and southeastern United States and go visit principals and ask, who are the top African-American scholars in this school? And he would come to our homes and talk to our parents and say, your child's future is so bright, and if you put it in my hands, I will ensure that they soar. And that kind of conversation, I was headed so many places. I was thinking about Duke, thinking about Harvard, Yale. But Dr. Humphrey said, it will make a difference not only to your life, it'll make a difference to our university community if you come and study with us. So he put together, we had the best and the brightest. I'm there with Will Packer.
Yes!
Everybody who's making moves now. So many of us were at Florida A&M learning how to do that then.
Wow.
And it was wonderful. And, I grew up in gifted programs and different enrichment programs where I was often the only little black girl in the room.
Yeah.
And that'll teach you a false sense of exceptionalism that is important for people of color to really dispel. You go to Florida A&M, where everybody, Black excellence is the norm. It is the standard. Everybody here is an achiever. Everybody here has done all the great things and will continue to do great things. And it normalizes excellence. There's no surprise in seeing the preeminent performance come from a person who looks like you. And that just set my compass right to help me understand that if there is exceptionalism to be had, it is not in my sole presence in a space. It's normalizing the presence of brilliant Black women in every space and place.
Ooh, in every space.
In every space and place.
That
helped me find that calling.
And I think that for me, when I look at the camaraderie of women that go to HBCUs and I see it, I feel the energy. I don't care. I was out with one of my girlfriends and she saw someone and they were like, they start talking about things that happen. And sometimes I live through those experiences. Yeah. But I am so happy when I saw that you and all these people, I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So I so special. My daughter told me, even with her world, that she went to FSU and she was just saying the sisterhood. And she tells me all the time, Mom, it's not so much about leaving college and getting a job as much as it is to belong. Absolutely. To people. Yes. And to have these experiences that you share with these people, to get into this good trouble sometimes with these folks. Yes. So that's where she always tells me, like, Mom, you don't even understand. But it's an experience that when someone tells you, you just kind of know and nod your head because you know what that felt like. So a sense of belonging that is like just at the cellular level. Wow. Yeah. What can all of us do now if you had to say, because you've done a lot. Listen, you have done so much. I had I forgot. Sitting next to you, I don't forgot about everything because I keep thinking about those early days. But what is something that we can all do, that everybody can do to make things better? What have you seen? Because you've sat in a lot of seats. I have. Ooh. And I know that we can all make a difference by every little thing we do every day. And it starts with our thoughts. It starts with setting the priority and the standard of what we expect for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our neighborhoods, for our community, and then activating our piece, literally doing what we can in the moment. If something occurs to you, it goes back to what my mom was saying. Like, if you've thought of it, if it's in your heart, it's done. It's happened. So what is it when we see something that is an injustice, when we see something that should be better? Identify the barrier and then find what we can do to impact it. Every day our foundation is located on 22nd Avenue and 34th Street South. You know where that is, right in the hood. Absolutely. Right there. Citgo gas station, yes. Right there, right? Wow. Because we are not going to change people's lives from a tower in downtown St. Paul. Oh, I love that. We are in the midst of the change we seek, and we co-create with our community. Every day on my way into the office, I will not walk past, it's a small little thing, but I will not walk past a single piece of litter, because I would not walk past it in my neighborhood. I would not walk past it in my house. I will not walk past it then in this neighborhood that I serve. Wow. And it's a tiny little difference, but it makes such a difference. Yes, it does. It started out, I was the only one. Now my whole team, no one will. Now the whole plaza. And we keep our space at the standard with which we believe it should exist. The city pays more attention now. People understand how to advocate for themselves. And it starts with just that little bit. I noticed there's too much litter here. Now everybody's picking it up. Now everybody notices. Oh, wow. And now there is no litter. Now the property manager makes sure. Now it is the agenda of everyone. And that's how change happens. That's how change happens. It's just microcosmic. Do what you can when you see it in the moment and know that that little thing aggregates to be the entirety of the change we seek. Wow. And everybody's following on suit. Absolutely. I love it, Kanika. I want to go back to when you said you have been the only Black girl in a lot of different spaces. Yeah. Talk now too. There's a lot of folks now that are the only Black. It's pretty sad that we still have to say this, but there are a lot of spaces. My daughter was in a lot of those spaces. how, and if you were speaking to someone now that's in that space and
Mm.
she's either the first or she's the only, what would you say to her?
Oh, that's my whole story.
'Cause I know it ain't been easy.
It's not easy, and it's basically a peerless paradigm. And even as you are surrounded by people who, in such a situation, you learn to adapt, you learn to find a way to be included. It doesn't necessarily mean that you belong. And
Oh,
when you walk through such spaces, it's hard to find belonging
I
anywhere.
love that.
It is. It's hard to find even belonging. If you're extracted from your village, it's hard to go back to your village and automatically fit in. That's that entry you gave me. That's why I'm so forever grateful. Really.
Thank you.
And when you are implanted in other people's village, it's hard to find that. But what begins to happen is your village are the people who walked like path, right?
Mm.
And so when you see people and you recognize them because you recognize the path, reach out,
Oh,
find mentors, find people who have done it before, connect with them. They can share great things that like only the two of you will understand, and look back and be that mentor for someone else. You might not find it in the rooms in which you sit. There probably isn't someone who shares your exact journey in the room you sit, but there are people who sat in like rooms all around you, and let that be your little personal board of directors,
wow.
reinforcing one another with what it takes to get through.
Wow. I'm listening to you and I am so in awe. Usually I'll have all these questions, but it feels good and it's refreshing because so many times, the only time people in many instances see someone of your character and what you represent is when they see Oprah. But I feel like, and I love me some Oprah, but you were my Oprah.
Thank
And
you,
there's
Tanya.
just a way that you always carry yourself. And I know it doesn't come without challenges that you face, but what I love most about you is that you stay true to the spirit of who you are. You didn't
Thank
come
you.
over here grabbing the bats with us. You like, hey, I'm out. Kanika was like, I know this, but you never judged us.
Never.
Judged us. And you always made us feel a part of you. And so
And ditto.
it doesn't shock me to see you on 34th Street.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me no matter what. It doesn't. And I know that your kids have to be very proud of
Oh.
you. I can't even imagine. I see pictures on Facebook. I know. So every time I'm just like, I just, you know how you just feel it. So
Yeah.
I just feel it. And I thank you, Kanika. I know your time is so valuable. When they told me, I said, Kanika coming. It was just like this moment that girl, I can sit here and sing your praises forever. But I thank you for being you. I thank you that you have so many other women like myself, that when you don't have parents or you don't have anybody, you're always looking for that person, and that you were my person and you will forever be my person. And I thank you for the bottom of my heart. Thank you for doing this. Oh, I love you. Oh.